welcome to PASC26. This is the highlights from the mini symposia. I have the pleasure to have with me Xavier Lapillon from Météo Suisse. You were organizing a mini symposium foundation model for weather and climate. So of course, the obvious question is always, can you tell us what was the mini symposium about and why did you decide to submit such a mini symposium?
Yeah, so this was about foundation model for weather and climate. These are machine learning model which are like taking the idea from what has been done for large language model, where the idea is to build a large model which is taking a lot of information. So in the case of weather and climate, it's not only training on model data, but using all possible observation and other source of information and trying to learn somehow the physics of the atmosphere. And then there are other downstream application which are made and can do specific product like weather forecast or downscaling or nowcasting, and this is the idea behind it. And we wanted to see, there are several projects ongoing, and the idea of the mini symposium was to see a bit the status and where people are.
But when you talk about using large language models, are you developing a large language models that is specifically trained just on weather and climate data?
So it's not really using a large language model directly, it's using the same idea that were made for the large language model, but then we really are training weather model, or actually we're really training a model that learn the atmosphere, the physics of the atmosphere, and then there is this possibility to do application on specific tasks like weather forecasting or this nowcasting, for example, of like learning if there will be a storm coming in the coming hour. That type of application that could be learned from this model.
Were there special highlights from your discussions that you would like to share with us?
I think we can say it's still quite an early stage. So people already showed some results. So they were able to reproduce some of the results of other models already being on par with IFS, which is one of the model trained on ERA. One of the model which is used to generate ERA5. So already some results at the global scale. I think to prove that it's really working at the application level and other things, we see that there are other steps, but it's encouraging to see that they already are able to gather more data than just only one data set, and also using different type of structures, so unstructured data, structured data at different time scale, and I think this was very encouraging.
We will ever have the day when we will have weather forecasts done on the fly with all your AI and machine learning large language models, do you think?
So,
I don't know enough, so it's...
I mean, it's possible. One idea also is that with this you can deliver maybe, so the base model is quite heavy, but then the application are in principle more lightweight, so there are possibility maybe they can run them on the laptop or maybe on the iPhone. That would be very nice. But I guess maybe the challenge is also to see, like, when can we trust them and when
yeah, no, absolutely. We need to still validate and verify that actually all this AI will work. Xavier, so you've had some momentum here at the PASC conference. What would you like to see? What are the next steps that you would like to see in the coming months?
So I think for this foundation model, we have to see where they are useful and where they bring added value compared to other approach with training on just more specific model and data. So I think this is one thing we need to look at. Since we're at a computing conference, I think one thing we want to look at is how can we scale this model. Now we are not yet training on many number of nodes, and I think these are the next step. Many of these models want to grow to be a little bit bigger, see if this is bringing value, and this also needs more compute and more interaction actually with CSCS. I think this is something we'll need.
Very good. Well, you know that we have the weather, or at least we are putting together the weather and climate platform just for this purpose, to have dedicated resources also for the weather and climate. Then thank you very much, Xavier, for joining us, and I hope to see you at the next PASC conference.
Thank you very much.